All right, hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to do a Bitcoin update, and something new has come across my desk that I've heard of in the past but haven't really found too much about it, and today I finally did, and I want to address this with you guys. Now, I want to start out by saying, a lot of people found me in one of two ways. Some people have been with me for a long time, ever since I started back over here, in September area. Some people found me based off of my video where I called for the 11,000 Bitcoin price back when we were at 15,000. That was kind of the next implied low. And some people found me from the altcoins 2018-2019 video. The reason I'm saying this is because a majority of people understand that my overall analysis tends to be fairly accurate. All right? I don't know the truth, I don't know the truth. I don't know the truth. I don't know the future. And all we can do is ascertain the charts with every new piece of information that comes across our desk. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I am getting more neutral on the market than bearish. And I'm going to explain why here. Okay, in my last video, we went through the naked Bitcoin chart, and which was accurate, which was very accurate. There was one part that was missing, however, and I didn't know until today in the Power Hour when a member mentioned this Adam and Eve pattern. So if you go to thechartpatternsite.com/AdamEvePattern.html, I'll put a link for this to you in the description if I remember. I'll put a link for this in the description, but thepatternsite.com/AdamEvePatterns.html. So this is the Adam and Eve pattern. It is a reversal pattern. It is a V bottom followed by a U bottom and then a subsequent up thrust, and the buy point is basically the middle of the Adam and the Eve section here. So you can see that right there. This is a website made by Bulkowski. This is Thomas Bulkowski. He has just literally written the book on chart patterns. He has a book called The Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns. I actually have a link to this book in my website, well before I even knew about the Adam and Eve pattern. It's a very good resource for chart patterns. I have the first edition. This is the second edition, which I do not have, but I guess I'm going to have to pick this one up. So the Adam and Eve pattern being a reversal pattern, as you can see here, a V bottom, and there's an A and a B and a C in terms of these highs. And something to note here is A and B should be narrower than B to C, and the reason being is because obviously Eve kind of has this wider pattern. Now, if we go to Bitcoin, that's pretty much exactly what's been going on here most recently. We have A here spiking down and coming back up. And then we have the Eve part of the pattern doing this. Okay, so there's your Adam, there's your Eve. And this is a very well-defined chart pattern. This is what appears to me what I consider a high-quality setup. And I'm taking time to make this video because I believe that based on our analysis last night, this gives us one more point for the bulls. And we had bears 3, bulls 2. Now we have bulls 3, bears 3. So we're basically neutral at this point in time. And what I think is important is that during this type of a run-up right here, we don't get too many pullbacks. So if this is indeed an Adam and Eve pattern, if this is indeed, if Bitcoin is indeed bullish, we are getting to the point where we may want to buy this little bottom right here. Okay? If we break out of this pattern, this most recent little pattern, this little consolidation, and this is a small pattern, if we break out of this and volume, gets a little pop higher, I think we may actually want to buy this and then deal, just deal with what happens next, to be quite frank with you. Now, I've been likening this run up here to this run up here. There's a very good chance that we come up and test the prior high anyways, which would be right here at the 9,800 level. So even if we do run up here and fail, buying here isn't such a bad thing. Number one, because if we run up, you're going to be profitable. And if we do roll over, you can always sell a little bit above your buy point and then, watch the market collapse. But I do think that based on this most recent revelation, there is a possibility that Bitcoin has actually bottomed. Maybe we stop rhyming with the 2014 2013 market. And just to reiterate, I do believe that if this market does play out and we do roll over, that we're here in the market cycle. So we're coming up to a situation where even if we eclipse a prior high, that could negate this pattern altogether anyways. So I think we're at one of those points in the market cycle where it really will pay to be very flexible with your market view. Okay? Now, I have been bearish kind of ever since this 11,000 level over here, to be honest with you. This reversed up into 20,000, and then we really got bearish. And that has since worked. Down here we have the spike V bottom and the curl, the Adam and the Eve. You know, is this the bottom in Bitcoin? It is a possibility that it is the bottom in Bitcoin. And via our Bitcoin analysis last night with this most recent relevation, however you say that word, it pretty much puts us back into a neutral position in the market. And when you're neutral in the market, the only thing you can do is go with the market. So like I said, if we buy this pattern on the breakout to the upside, if it breaks up, do not anticipate this move. I'm not going to. This is how I think I'm planning my trade. If we break out of this and volume remains good, volume, you know, gets over these little price levels here on my 2-hour chart. Let's maybe go down to the 15-minute chart. So we can see here Bitcoin came down here, has formed this kind of symmetrical pattern here. All right, actually failed to go lower here, which is interesting. On the 15-minute chart, this looks like quite a bit of support right here. If we get good volume coming up here, pretty much breaking this 89.50 level, if we can get up here and the volume is high, then we get in here, or I get in here. I'm going to get in here, and then even if we come up here to the 8,900 or 9,800 level, I'll have a profit cushion of approximately 9 or 10%. And then that 9% gives me some room to maneuver. Okay, gives me room to maneuver. I don't have to FOMO back up here. You know, if it gets up here and it breaks, say it breaks out over this 9,800, because that is, I'm going to call it a danger. That is a danger as well. If we're waiting for the bottom in Bitcoin and it breaks above 9,800, it's either going to be one of the biggest fake outs in Bitcoin history, or it's actually finally going to kind of run up. All right, so let me go back down to the 2-hour chart. Now, the Adam and Eve pattern here implies that we're going to get up here towards this 11,500 level. So let me ask you this. How would you feel watching this video or a subsequent video, with a potential buy down here to 8,800 level, 8,900 level, and it gets up here to, and it gets up here about 30% higher? I don't think that would feel very good, to be honest with you. And you can always exit a position at a higher price or even a lower price, but it's always hard to buy back in. And you've never really heard me say that before. I don't say that very often, but I think this is probably one of those times in the market where even if you're leaning bearish, you take a bullish position on this technical action. And the reason being is this large volume that most recently has come into Bitcoin, kind of negating part of this move, if you will. This is not healthy action right here. If this gets negated to the upside and the volume increases, if volume begins to increase on the upside here, notice we have increasing volume here to the downside. If volume increases to the upside, that's extremely bullish in Bitcoin. And you're either going to buy it 9,800 or you're going to buy it, 8,900. So anyway, there you go. I hope that's not too much of a flip for you guys. We have to move with the markets. Our job is to read the markets, not to think we know what's going to happen and then trade a plan that may never occur. Our job is to move with the markets. And with this recent Adam and Eve thing, and the fact that we're possibly in the middle of this range, right here, that's basically 78% increase, and we're up about 40% right now. We're in the middle of this range. So if we go up and double top and go bottom, no harm, no foul. But if we do go up and, maybe we do form this choppy area, you'll be glad you got in here. You'll be glad that you got in here. So again, we have to wait for the breakout. I'm not anticipating anything in Bitcoin. We could just as well break down. Keep that in mind too. We could just as well break down. And if we break down, there's nothing to do. And then we wait to see what happens at a lower consolidation level. So I'm putting that out there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I walked you through that enough. And I'll go ahead and put this description to this Adam and Eve pattern downstairs there in the description. So thank you very much. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think this is prudent action? Do you think I'm flip-flopping? Do you, what do you think's happening there? So thanks for watching me, guys. I'll see you next time.